Now we come to our next topic of concern, which is salts. Now, what are salts? We can say that they are substances formed by the reaction of acids and bases. But I told you in the beginning of this chapter that salts are neutral. Now, this is not true. I told you a false thing. Salts don't always have pH equal to 7. At that time, I was talking about only neutral salts. It is not that all salts are neutral. All salts will not have pH equal to 7. We know that these salts like NaCl, Na2SO4 or K2SO4 and all these type of salts will have pH 7. But there are some salts which will not have pH equal to 7. Why? Now we have defined salts as the products formed when acid reacts with base. So what if there is an acid like CH3COOH and we have a base like NaOH. This is a base, this is an acid. So when they react, they will give a salt and water. What is that salt? It's CH3, COO, Na and H2O. But we see that this ethanoic acid is a very weak acid. Compared to all those mineral acids like HCl, H2SO4, CH3COOH is a very weak acid. And NaOH is a very strong base. So if you see that NaOH is a very strong base and CH3COOH is a very weak acid. So naturally when they react, you would expect NaOH, this basic property of NaOH, to affect the nature of the salt. Because this NaOH, which is a very strong base, will overpower this weak acid and in turn it will increase the pH, which you would originally expect to be 7, but due to the strength of the base, it will become something more than 7. And so this salt, sodium ethanoate, this will not have pH equal to 7, rather it will have pH greater than 7 due to this overpowering of the strong base NaOH. And due to this, these type of salts are called basic salts. So when we have a weak acid and we have a strong base reacting, the base will dominate the pH, and so the salt which will be formed will have a pH greater than 7, and thus it will be called a basic salt. Now we can also have a reverse. Can have a very strong acid, HCl, very strong, and we have a very weak base, NH4OH. Now this is ammonium hydroxide, NaOH, NH4OH, very weak base, and we have this weak base and strong acid. They will react to give this salt and water. So as we expected that the neutralization reaction will not yield a salt which will have pH equal to 7. This acid is a strong acid, this base is a weak base. So the strong acid dominates or overpowers the weak base, and so the salt which is formed will have a slightly acidic nature, and it will not have pH equal to 7. Rather, due to this strong acid, it will have a pH less than 7. And because of this, these salts are called acidic salts. So NH4Cl is an acidic salt. So our conclusion is that salts formed from weak acid and strong base will be basic salts, and salts formed from strong acid and weak base will be acidic salt. So this is our conclusion. Let us take some examples of salts. The most common salt which we know is the common salt, which is NaCl. This NaCl, it is a very important salt for us because it is used in cooking, and it has another use, that it is a raw material, very essential raw material for many other salts or substances. They might not be salts. So the many other substances are your NaOH, baking powder. Baking powder is sodium bicarbonate. Then you have washing powder or washing soda. Then you have bleaching powder. And there are many other things. These are the main things. And we'll learn how this can produce all these substances.